Hey guys, Noah here, back for the very first video on this channel. Back at it with another drawing, and by that I mean technically the first drawing you have seen that I have built a video for your viewing pleasure, you know. Here you see me filling up my Kaweco Sport Brass, which is what I drew this picture with, and apparently as I was filling it up I got ink all over my hands. And you know how whenever you open your sketchbook you like to be dramatic and you rub your hand over the page to, you know, get a feeling of your artistic landscape so you can understand the paper better. I pulled one of those and I smudged the whole thing, like this long stripe across the paper. I was really upset. And then right after that I dropped the pen and marked all over the other page. You know, great start. But I think by this point, I understand that I've just drawn so many pictures that it doesn't matter really how you start. So I just took the smudge as inspiration. And the very first line you see me draw here is following that big smudge. And I kind of actually used it as inspiration for the rest of the drawing. I just tried to follow that flow where I would, like, you know, if I was going to draw an extrusion or an extremity from this, like, thing, I guess it's a plant, as you'll see it unfold, what I would do is I would trace my hand along the flow of the rest of it and then kind of see how it would protrude as if it were, you know, following the same tendency of the rest of the drawing. I don't know, there's a lot to learn. I'm still very new to drawing. The strategy I employed was, if I'm gonna draw, it might as well be something I enjoy immensely, and so rather than drawing things that are real and doing it poorly for a long time and then, you know, being like everyone else who draws things that were real, ever since I started, I would just kind of employ, I'm just gonna call it the Peter Draws strat, you know, his tech, and it works perfectly for me. I don't know if him and I, here's seen Pacific Rim. Like, I feel like Peter Draws and I are drift compatible. And I really don't want to talk about another artist, another YouTuber, very much in my first video. But you know what? If I'm going to get compared to him, I might as well be the first to do it. If we're going to get into it, here's my origin tale, okay? About a year ago, actually almost exactly a year ago, at the onset of 2019, I had made a New Year's resolution, which I'd stolen from my dad, because it was my dad's New Year's resolution, to draw a picture a day for the entire year, just to pick up a new hobby, figure out how to draw, you know, that kind of thing. And I mean, of course it fell apart, but I stuck with it for most of the year. And right before I started that New Year's resolution, or made that New Year's resolution, I should say, I had found Peter Draws because I had collected fountain pens and I just liked watching videos about fountain pens. And, you know, the big issue with collecting fountain pens and not, like, improving my handwriting or anything, which I wasn't doing to any big degree, was that there was no real big point to me owning these fountain pens anymore. So yeah, I basically was like, alright, I should probably do something with these pens. So I decided to pick up drawing. It was not great at first. My line definition was really bad, but the benefit to it was I would take Peter Draws' advice, wherein he said to just, you know, enjoy the lines that you're putting down, watch the ink come out on the paper, do like long strokes, and just, you know, do some doodling, and don't really have a plan in mind, and just kind of see how it turns out. And that's how I approached all my drawings before I felt like I had to draw something specific and concrete. What I tell people now, because they say, like, how do you think of all these things that you draw? I don't. What I do is instead, it feels like it comes out of my hand, if that makes any sense. Like, my hand is just wandering, and then maybe after 20-30 minutes of my hand wandering and making useless shapes, I'll zoom out and I'll look at the picture for 5-10 minutes and I'll go, okay, like, where do I want to take this, you know? There was a big learning experience which I was surprised about, because I realized that, well, I'll first start in saying that editing is not something I'm really unfamiliar with. I checked before making this video. I apparently have made, I have the list here, I've apparently made on my other channel 127 videos or so. So that's a lot of videos. It's kind of something I've just done consistently throughout high school, and it's just something I really like to do. So I wasn't expecting to learn anything about video editing and making this video. I thought that was going to be the easy part, but it turns out it was the part that took the most amount of time. This drawing took me about 4-5 hours to create. Maybe 2 hours of just actual drawing, but it took me, nonetheless, it took me a very long time to edit. The first edit, I think, took me about 2.5 to 3 hours just to cut out all of the bullshit of me like swinging my hand back and forth after I would put one line down. It was really annoying. For about a week, I didn't want to reopen the project file and keep editing it and making it something I could upload. And I don't really know why. I didn't know why that was. I think I do now. And now, in hindsight, I'm pretty sure it was that I was disappointed with the quality of this video, which is what I want to talk about now, because first of all, my setup is whack. I'm filming this on my Pixel 4, which I don't have a picture of the setup, but it's like barely hanging in there on this tripod that I have to like counterweight against my desk and my wall. It's crazy. But also, just in terms of execution, not even looking at the quality of the video itself, which I zoomed in a lot here so you could actually see what was going on, but it's a bit grainy because this is filmed on a phone camera, and the actual view of the angle is like probably 3 or 4 times as wide as this. So I don't know, maybe next time I'll try and film from a different angle, or just move my phone closer. One thing I really wanted to mention was that I assumed I didn't realize this until after I was editing, which kind of it's impossible to go back and change how I drew something. But as the video went on, I assumed this weird like claw grip on the pen, and it makes it really hard to see what I'm drawing. And so as I was reapproaching the edit of this video, after I'd gone through and edited out all the bullshit swinging my pen around, I wanted to come back and you know, I think it was better I took a long time, because I was able to come back and look at this video with fresh eyes, and I realized in editing, like, you can't see half of what I'm drawing. So for the past 2.5 days or so, I've just been going back and zooming in on everything that you can see, and if you can't see it when you zoom in, I just cut it out. So there's a lot of this drawing that you don't actually see get drawn, but that's just because I wanted to take it out. I didn't think it was worth looking at my hand move and then it moves away and then you see the drawing. That didn't really make sense to me, so I took all of that out. And the big thing I learned in doing that, which surprised me because I didn't really expect to learn anything about editing, is that it's pretty much the same as writing, where you kind of just need to get your garbage first draft out there, and then I think you need to wait a few days and then go back and revise it, which I don't know if that's something I really ever did when I edited my videos. I would always try and just be like, okay, today I'm going to edit a video, and then I would edit it and then put it out there in the span of a few hours, which is what I was used to doing, and which I think is why this video frustrated me, is because A, I had a lot more bullshit to just cut out, which I didn't want to go back and do, but I think B, I was also just disappointed with the level of quality that was put into the first half. I got about halfway through this video before I actually, you know, took a break for the day, and then I didn't come back to editing for a couple of days. So I think it was really good I took a break. I reapproached it with a new vigor of wanting to actually produce something quality. And I think, I don't know, I don't think my drawings are especially like that good, but I'm still fascinated by how a drawing turns out. I never really know what I'm drawing. Another thing I want to talk about in terms of quality is that actually this zooming in thing that I do for this video is very much just the fact that a lot of this video has my head in it because I'm not used to recording, as shown by my claw-like grip where I block everything that I'm drawing for like I would say 60% of the footage you can't even see. You're only seeing about 40% of the actual drawing that was done, and then 80% of that had to be edited out because I would just sit there either like holding the pen watching whatever I was watching or listening to, or just sitting there looking at the drawing. And then the other portion of it that I had to cut out that wasn't that was me swinging the pen around because I'd like drawn a long line and I let my hand continue with the flow, but like not having the pen contact the paper. It looks like pen fu. Like if I should teach pen fu as a martial art, I don't know. As for future plans, which I guess is the next thing I'm going to talk about, because this video is wrapping up, this picture is almost done, is I'm just gonna upload. I think my next video will be the time lapse I've already done and already uploaded it. I'll just make a commentary over it. I'll slow it down and we can all watch it together, which will be nice. You know, some viewer content creator bonding. That'll be nice. And you know, if you have any drawing suggestions for like different things I could do in order to, you know, like a challenge, like, oh, only use black paper and silver Sharpie, or like try out watercolor, or I don't know, just like give me suggestions. Maybe I'll do it. I need ideas because I feel like a lot of my drawings are exactly the same, wherein I just draw the same shapes over and over again. Like, I'm kind of disappointed with how little I feel like I've developed over the year, even though people say my art is pretty good, and there's definitely some art that I'm like proud of. I don't know. It still feels like I haven't developed optimally, but I guess that's just human nature, you know. I definitely am a lot better than I was when I started. In fact, I think the next video I record that'll be fully original will be a redrawing of my first image, and it'll be like, you know, first picture January 1st, and then like a year later, even though it's, as I'm recording this, it's January 25th, so you know, it'll be like a month, or yeah, a year and a month, but whatever, you get what I mean. Okay, okay, the video's over, so I'm gonna go. Alright, bye.